Today's video is going to be quite a casual one, and I'm focusing on one specific habit that I have that is a bad habit. It's not something that I do hugely often. The way I organise my photography shoots is I normally have an area in mind, and within that area there are points of focus that I'm going specifically to shoot. Now, the bad habit that I mentioned earlier is, as I'm in the car right now, driving to location, I'll often drive past places and I'll make a mental note, or an actual note sometimes, that I need to go back to that place in certain conditions, certain times of day, and I'll probably be able to get a really good shot. And ironically, some of those times are actually the perfect conditions, but because I've already got a shoot planned and I'm going to that location, I don't stop, I don't pull the car over, and I don't get the shot. So I was umming and ahhing where to go, and I was trying to find a place that maybe I haven't been before and that I can get some interesting shots, but there's nothing specifically riding on it. This is the sort of first midweek mini adventure that I've done for quite a while now, so it was just a nice easy one to get myself back into it. Ken suggested, why don't I go to a ruined castle? And to put it into perspective, we've driven past this castle many times, and every single time I drive past it, I make a point of saying I should pull over and get some pictures of that. I've done that at least 5 times this year alone. The bad habit that I'm trying to break is, like I said, not one that I do all the time, but I do it enough that I miss shots. And I just need to, if I see a potential location, I just need to start pulling over a little bit more often than I do.
Got a little information board here, so parked just down there, and I've come a little bit further back up to come down into the castle ruins itself, and then you've got the stepping stones, which I'll go and have a little bit of an explore in a second. This is a Cadu run site. It says it closes at 4:30, but the gate's open and there's people walking around, so I'm not entirely sure if that's the case, but it is really cool. I mean, if I spin you around, there you go. Like, that is very cool. You've got a little bit of a sort of an actual house looking structure here, and then the rest of it is just a ruined castle. I think this is Norman, so quite old. So this structure at the moment has covered, or is covering, the sun, so we've got some really interesting light coming through some of the windows, so I might try and set up and get some shots here. Main structure's there. Gonna grab some pictures now. What I might try and do with this is bracket a shot. So just to give you a little bit of context, I don't know if you can see it, but just up here you've got a couple of cars driving along the road. That is the road that I was talking about, where I'll drive down it to go to another shoot, instance being the last video I did, macro fossil photography. Drove past this castle, thought, that looks good. So I've got the main structure of the castle behind me here, and then if I come around this way, I do apologise for the glare. The stepping stones are just down there, so I might get some shots of the stepping stones as well. But in the meantime, I'm going to try and get some good shots here with the sun off to one side. Oh, that's nice. So what I'm trying to do here is use this part of the wall as a frame line along with that side of the wall, so that you get a bit more of a depth of field for everything. There's a really nice footbridge over there actually. It looks very similar to the Severn Bridge, the older Severn Bridge. Got all of the castle walls down here. I mean, this is amazing, and yeah, like I said, I've driven past this so many times and not even thought, oh, I should pull over, and it's, you know, 30 seconds off the main road with a car park and some cool stepping stones, which I might be going across in a second, because I can see a couple further down the river down here, which might make for quite a nice candid shot. As we walked in, there was the building that looks more or less like a house rather than a castle, and it's got a cottage behind it, and I'm half wondering... Oh, horse is going. The problem is the car park is just down to the right, so I need to be a bit more selective about my angle of where I'm going to shoot, because I don't want the cars in. That is probably the worst shot I'm going to take this evening. Oh, that's a bit annoying. So if I come down this way, you might be able to see over my right shoulder the couple have moved, which is a bit of a shame because the water is glistening in the sun at the moment, and they were sat by the bank, but I was a bit too slow to go and get that shot. Ooh, this angle of that shot that I just said was rubbish. So if I whiz you round, so you've got the ruined building and the cottage. This bridge is ugly because it's new. Well, that's not fair. This bridge is ugly just because it's built that way. New bridges can look very nice. It's not too bad with the bridge in, as long as I'm not focusing on the bridge. So it's quite a nice sort of line, leading line off to one side. There's a copse of trees over there, which isn't too bad. I'm going to put this up to f11, and what I might do is I'm going to bracket. So there you go, brackets on, because the sun is just up there and it's blindingly bright. I'm going to go wide on this so I can crop in. One of the problems with Micro Four Thirds is that you don't get as much dynamic range as you might do with like full frame sensors or even APS-C sensors, because they're all much bigger. So that's where bracketing comes in, really helpful for these sorts of scenes where you've got really strong bright whites, the sun, and then obviously quite dark shadows and dark tones in general. The thatched roof on that cottage is quite dark. But no, this is a really cool location. So when it's quieter, it's definitely going to be somewhere that I'm going to make a concerted effort to come back to. This is the sort of place that I think needs atmosphere, fog, snow. We're next to the coast, so I can't see any snow happening, but it definitely looks like it should be a bit more dramatic.
Apologies for the audio quality. I'm not entirely sure what this is going to be like. This is just straight out of my iPhone because my DJI Pocket is just on my hip at the moment. So one thing when I'm out hiking is I always want to have my hands free. So I usually keep my iPhone in here, which has got all my navigation and things on it. Other phones are normally in the bag. Then I've got a capture clip, Peak Design capture clip for my my camera, so that can be on my bag. The DJI Pocket is a little bit more fragile. When I was doing the shoot at Slindullen, I usually had it in my pocket, but as it gets warmer, I'm not going to have a jacket with pockets on, so that's going to be a bit more difficult. So I was trying to think how I could carry it hands-free, and I might have found a solution, so I'm just going to lower you down. So I've got a small rig little cage that goes around it here, and I've got an old capture clip that I don't really use anymore. So at the moment it is clipped quite happily to my waist, which is all right. Keeps it out of the way, which is good. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you how ridiculous I look.
So I'm waiting to go over these stepping stones, just waiting in the car park. Got a couple of shots, they might have turned out all right. It's quite funny, there's a bit of a traffic jam, so there's 2 people walking, 3 dogs. One of the people was quite slow. But yeah, there's just a big group on the other side now waiting to come over. So I'm gonna wait for them to cross, and then I'm gonna head over. was going to try and do one of those YouTube things where you film yourself with a static camera coming across the stepping stones, but there was a huge queue, and there's a lot of people on the other side. But also, I don't know if you can see just over there, there's two people training a horse, and I think they're trying to get them to cross where that ford is, and the horse is having none of it. But I think I might have got one or two cool shots. It's not a patch on Yellowstone, mind, but you know, it's not often you see people training horses next to a Norman castle. I'm walking over to that newer bridge a bit further up. You see the castle in the background there? It's quite nice. That's one of the nice things about coming to new locations, is I've come across additional locations whilst I've been here. So, spin you around. There's the new bridge, or newer bridge. I'm calling it the new bridge. It's probably got a name, I'll find out. But there is also, there's no chance you'll be able to see it, but sort of over here, there's another really interesting footbridge, which I did get some pictures of, and there were some people running across it, so they might look okay. And that's just within a short walking distance of the castle, which is over there. So just stopping here, I've had two interesting bridges to take photos of, the castle and the stepping stones as well. And then just by virtue of chance, there are those people training the horses, so I might have been able to get a good silhouette shot. We'll see about that one. But you know, you've got really nice static human elements to this landscape, and then also some human life as well, training horses. There we go, so we've got the bridge in the background there, and you've got my lovely shadow in the foreground. So in order to get the right light, I'm gonna have to go at a little bit of a longer focal range, which is fine, these things happen. Again, this might be a bit like the castle, where it's a case of scouting the location by taking pictures and visiting. It's really annoying. You'll see it in these pictures now, but there's just bins, public bins and cars on the left side, and I can cut the cars out quite easily, but the bins are going to be quite annoying. So I'm probably going to have to paint those out with Photoshop, which is a pain in the butt. So there's vertical supports for these supporting cables. And I was trying to frame it so that that couple were either side of one of those cables. But no, it's quite a good looking bridge, and in the light it looks nice. Me getting excited there, I just plonked the tripod down and stuck my hand in a stinging nettle. This is nice, and you get a really nice reflection down in the water as well. So what I might try and do is get a bit lower. So we're just walking back to the car and the castle now, and I'm hoping no, I can still see that horse and the trainers, and it doesn't look like he wants to go in the water at all. So that was probably about half an hour ago, so they've been there a while. As I said before, this trip wasn't just for me to come out and get really good pictures, say hello to the horse. It was more just to come out and enjoy the evening, because as you can tell, absolutely glorious day, and I've been sat inside most of the day just looking out the window wanting to go. Might pop and get a couple more shots actually, but I'll just explain what I was doing. There's some more people crossing now, so I might get those as well. But the sun's behind us, so there's nice silhouette, and because the Ogmore River here is so calm, there's a really good reflection in the water. So you've got that nice silhouetted reflection. So I'm just going to get some more. I can't go too low with these because there's a lot of reeds in the floor of the riverbed, and they're poking up through, so they sort of bit a breaking line. A really nice thing about this, actually, I was a bit miffed at the beginning because there were so many people, but it's actually really good storytelling. You know, these stepping stones look really nice by themselves, and I'm sure I could get a really good composition with them. But the fact that there's people in these shots now actually tells a bit more of a story, which is quite nice, because it's all well and good just taking pictures of nice landscapes or nice objects or anything like that, but being able to actually create an emotion or create that sense of wonder, what's going on there, you know, what's happened. But then we've got somebody walking on. Oh, one person. So out of all of that, I came for the castle. I actually think some of those are the best shots. which is pretty good. So this is the life, isn't it? Nice sunny evening, and I'm sat on a bench flying a drone. What could be better? So at the moment I'm just circling. I've got to be careful because there's a road over that way, so I can't go too far round. But I'm just getting a bunch of different angles, different heights. Oh, actually, let's go a bit higher. I didn't want the wall going above the river, so it's sort of in the middle of the river at the moment, which is nice. So I've just set the drone to do a circle quick shot. So basically you draw a target for it to lock onto, and the drone will just automatically do a circle around. It'll just orbit the target that you've selected. I think it's a dad and his kid, and I think the kid just fell in. They're having a good laugh about that. It's quite funny. I just did a big splash. I was paying too much attention to the to where the drone was. Okay, so I've just left my drone piloting bench, and while I was flying the drone, I noticed that this angle was very good on this side of the river with the stepping stones in. So just before I head back over, I'm going to get a couple of shots with the G9 from ground level. Oh, it's all quite dry, which is good. Get some ducks in, we're good. I'll tell you what, I'm going to bracket one of these actually, so that I can get a bit more range of the dynamic kind. Proof is in the concept for this video. I was driving on my way back, and there's a location that I am aware of. It's a little building, ruined building by the looks of it, in the middle of a field, and it's somewhere I always drive past but never pull over to shoot. I don't think I can get out and shoot here, or at least not where I'm currently parked, but what I'm going to do is stick the drone out the window and get some shots. Get out of the car quick and pick this up. I'm in a lay-by, so I reckon I'm alright to park here. Those photos weren't the best, but it's quite a busy road and I didn't want to go too far because I think that would have been dangerous. But if I'm not allowed here, a police van just drove past me, so they didn't do anything. The audio's probably crap on this because I'm right next to the road, but this is what I was talking about. So zoom in, there's the little house or shed or whatever it is, but look at the light, it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm not even sure that the photos I've taken on my camera are going to do this justice, but this is absolutely stunning. Really good. But yeah, it's worth pulling over.